we're back. Hello, welcome to the second segment of my facial care product review. We're mainly focusing on facial moisturizers, not really focusing on cleansers. But in this particular segment, actually in the next two segments, we will be including in cleansers because certain things, they kind of came as a 1-2, like a 1-2 punch. So even though I was mostly concerned with the moisturizer, I figured, hey, it comes with a cleanser. Why not? Figured that way I was getting like the best usage of the moisturizer by including the cleanser because it came with a cleanser. Now, I am comparing these two products, neither of which is sponsored. But you know, all I gotta do is pick up the phone, brother, be sponsored. That's all I gotta do. So, once again, if I get the names wrong, well, they ain't paying me. I am comparing the, I don't even know how to say this, Cetphil. I'm comparing this with the CeraVe. I think that's how you say that? I'm comparing these two Mickey Figgies, and this is probably the cleanser that I'm putting up front. No, that's the lotion. Okay, so I'm comparing these two. Why I'm comparing these two, you might ask? Well, because I heard that one was really good. And when I say I heard, that means Janessa was on the internet and heard that this was really good. But then I was curious about this because I saw this at a friend's bathroom. That's really embarrassing to say, but I saw this in a friend's bathroom, and I kept seeing this on my search for other products, and I was like, oh yeah. But then when I went to buy it, I got this and this confused. I really wasn't sure which one that I was interested in buying because they look so similar. And then I was with Janessa, and she said, I want to get this because I heard this was good. And I'm like, but I think this was the one I saw. So, me being me, I bought them both. And I just think it's really weird that they look very similar. Of course, you know, the colors are somewhat different because this has a green in it, but their blue is almost like the exact same kind of blue. They even put these together in the stores. Like most stores I go to, they're usually right next to each other. So I got them really confused because even though I said the cleanser has a green to it. So it's really, you know, so you see this in the store and you're like, oh, I the same thing? No, but they're not the same. But I thought, hey, since they look the same, why don't I compare the two? And what I find is that they're both very different. I will come right out and say, this is my favorite. In fact, out of all these different lotion things, you know, I talked a lot about the Lubriderm and the Burt's Bees. I like this better than just about everything else that I bought. Bang for buck. Goes on smooth. Only have to use it once a day. You know, nice. You know, not really a smell to it. Not like a, you know, overly pain in the ass fragrance to it. And it's really, really nice. You know, the cleanser is just the cleanser. It's just nice. Goes on, I feel clean. So this I really did. I really was a big fan of this. In fact, out of everything that I bought, with the exception of some other things that are probably more expensive, and like I said, love the Lubriderm because it's cheaper. Like this is, I think these are each like about $15 round. They're all like around the 15 round each, which isn't bad for the more time what you get. But the Lubriderm, I still say, I mean, we're not here to talk about that, but it's still the more bang for your buck. But this, to me, is just a little bit better than that. It's hard to describe even why it feels nicer on my skin, and my skin feels nicer when I use it. So, you know, out of everything, this is definitely my top 5. And that's what I like about it. Not heavy, goes on smooth, skin feels smooth. You know, I mean, to me, this feels as good as any expensive product. The Clinique, and on my next segment, I'm going to be talking about this stuff that you can get online that's really good. But to me, this is, you can buy this out of the store. So if you have like really dry skin or really irritating, sensitive skin, like I tend to have, to me, you know, this I would go along with this, you know. And like I said, the cleanser is really nice too. This, on the other hand, I was not crazy about. Like I said, I'm usually not talking about cleansers very much. But in this case, this cleanser, it's interesting because when you use it, it's got like a mint to it, I want to say. So it kind of like wakes you up, but it's a tad bit irritating to me. At first I was like, oh, woke me up. Oh, I feel like I'm ready for the day. And then I'm like, but now I want it to go away. So that was like, yeah. And then I used this, and yeah, it just didn't do the job for me. It went on smooth enough, but it was just sort of irritating to the senses, you know, because it kind of has that smell too. Like, you know, it just was really bothered me, and I felt like it didn't make my skin feel nice, not like this did. But then Janessa told me that it's probably because I didn't get it for the right, that maybe it's all, this says light all skin types. I don't know. It just didn't work for me. But I will say that Janessa loves this stuff. In fact, I meant to do this video with her, but she's away on vacation right now. She really likes this. So that just goes to show you different skin types, different facial things. Who knows? So whereas I might say this is great, don't like this, but I will say my daughter loved it. You know, in fact, to be honest with you, these are her bottles, because I originally bought these small little travel bottles just sort of to get a sample of it, and then she made me buy these bigger ones because she liked it that much. So that just goes to show you, you need to try, dibble and dab your own things. If you buy a sample size like of things like I did with this, and actually even this, I think I originally bought a small sample size. That's the way to go. Buy a small sample. You don't have to buy these big ass things and spend $15, $20 on stuff. You know, you just buy a sample of it. So I want to. What are you doing? Because this doesn't have a lot of. It's not that this has a strong thing to it. I think for me, if I recall, it doesn't. This doesn't have a minty smell to it. It just didn't quite. It's like it's too light. You know, it's just a tad bit too light, and I had to use like a couple different shots of it when I used it. I'd almost be willing to give it another shot later on, but I just remember not being crazy about it when I used it. In fact, yeah, even on my finger, yeah, I don't know, it's hard to describe something when you sit there and go, it's light, but just a tad bit too oily, maybe too smooth, like an unnatural smoothness to it. So once again, I'm saying for myself, I would not buy this, but my daughter loves it, so there you go. You can have it, and maybe if you like her and think she's a better opinion, especially if you're a young teenage girl, you're a guy. And like, you know, I know a lot of guys don't like to buy the stuff with the fancy weird names and stuff that's more geared towards women. So once again, that might be the way to go. So we're going to keep this one short and sweet. In comparison, me this, my daughter that, and there you have it. As always, boom, boom. Thanks for watching.